Welcome back to Milton Daily Homes. We're glad to be here with you. We got 14 properties today, and if you want to sign up for the buyer class this Saturday, the link is right over there. It's going to be an awesome time. First one up is 914 Deverell. 318 is the price. And the listing agent, who I'm a big fan of, by the way, is his new thing is to put his cars outside the property, which I thought was kind of humorous. I still bug him about it. We have living dining room plus an open concept kitchen with a breakfast bar. It's 1051 square feet. Most of the ones we've even seen some pretty good ones listing that I would say are comparable to this for like 309. They're probably a little bit on the high side, but with these townhomes, sometimes they can really, one good sale can really make the next 6 months. So if they get it and it looks nice inside, they're doing really well. 2-car parking in the driveway is really handy with these. Yeah, it's a good looking home for sure. Hobbs, in my opinion, is a great deal, and I'm sure that they hear the clock ticking for a December 3rd possession. It's probably about between 15 and 1600 square feet. Nice open concept design. You've got hardwood floors here. I think this is an outstanding price. I mean, we just sold a home that's a little bit bigger than this, for $10,000 more, and these guys have the California shutters. They've got some good upgrades inside the kitchen, and for me, more importantly, you've got some green space behind. There's not a neighbor right there behind you. Hobbs can be a little bit crowded. It's all townhomes on a loop street, so you know that the curbs aren't necessarily as wide, so you can fit sort of less cars, so you end up having more congestion. But it's still a good street, and kids, it's usually pretty good for kids to play ball and stuff like that. Overall, I think it's a great listing. It's a super price. I don't think it'll last very long at that price. Wedham Heights is $399,900. It's a Lynbrook. It's 1,500 square feet. There was some sort of unfortunate incident on Wedham Heights. I don't have all the details about it, but I did hear about it on the news. I think it was a couple weeks ago. So hardwood floors here. You've got a pretty open concept family and kitchen. The cabinets definitely look neutral and nice. I talked about this in one of the episodes, that having the white appliances, when you've got all the other stuff, the money on the cabinets, the sink, the backsplash, it can add a little something there. That's probably not a permanent fireplace. It's not a gas fireplace. It could be an electric one that's built in, but that's the front room right when you come in the door. The complaint on this one is that there's not a real big main entrance, and you've got a room in the front that really isn't that connected to the rest of the home. But the bedrooms are super sized upstairs. You could have 2 teenage kids in the other bedrooms. They're not tiny ones. Overall, it's a pretty balanced layout. $399 seems okay to me, although it's a funny price range because we've seen some homes that are still selling for good money, but there's also a lot of competition. The detached homes are pushing up from the low fours too. We've got Jemson Path here at 408, 555, and it's about 17 something square feet. This is the main floor family room, so this is ground level. Then you go upstairs and you've got another family room here, plus a kitchen. You've got the dark cabinet stainless steel. The bedrooms are on the 3rd floor. There's 3 of them plus 2 bathrooms. And you can see there's your front door, and then there's your family room there. And so what you have really is no backyard. You've got a balcony right above the garage. This would be higher than what most of them are selling for and have sold for in the last 3 months. They probably missed it a bit. They're probably in a better place underneath the 4. Mitchell is basically the old version of the Wedham Heights home, and it's not quite as open concept. It's a little more like the area between the kitchen and the family room is a little bit more closed off, but some people like that because you can set furniture. So that wall exists here, whereas the one on Wedham, it didn't, right? And they have different model names. 414, really the competitive advantage versus something like the one on Wedham is they have the finished basement. It still doesn't seem like it's a great deal. Now Mitchell is a pretty quiet street. I mean, it's basically on the loop. So Bowring Crescent goes like this, and then Mitchell's in between. So there's three ways, or there's two entrances to Bowring, and really not many people use Mitchell unless they just feel lazy and they don't want to go right around the loop. But it's a pretty low traffic street, so the price just seems a little bit off to me. Kavanaugh, same kind of thing. The price is just high. I mean, this is an Emery model. You can buy the basic model for $370, $380, and even that, I mean, we've even seen a couple of them sell for a bit less than that. Now, I understand that they've put some money into the hood fan and the backsplash and some appliances, some hardwood, but it still has no business with the first digit being a 4, really. I mean, it's a nice home. It's 1,370 square feet. The pictures look nice and everything's good, but it's not going to sell for more than 4, so I think they're just wasting their time. Logren Crescent is $489,900, and this is a funny price range because right now the single car garages, there's a lot of homes that are selling for a lot less than they used to, and it's a competition thing. It's, a couple people that had to sell, they had to sell. A couple factors there, but 2237 square feet, about the biggest single car garage you're going to find. It is beside dairy. They started in the 5s, and I mentioned in a previous video they were too high up there. What do you deduct for a home that's right beside a busy road? It's an X factor. I can't tell you, or another agent couldn't tell you. It's 10,000 or whatever. I would think it's probably at least 10. It would be for me anyways. It's more subjective. Like, how do you feel about it? You could argue that, hey, there's no neighbors beside you that are really looking into your windows. But I just think the noise is a factor. I'm one of those guys that like nice peace, quiet, and you've got a balcony above on the second floor. So overall, there are some great elements here. I think they've kept the home pretty well. The hardwood floors. You do get a wider backyard too, because you've got really no neighbors beside. It's almost like a corner property, and it's just a tricky home. It's a tricky one to find the right buyer for. Farmstead is $499,900, and Farmstead's a bit of a busier street, so that sort of takes away some of the effect, especially because there's so many quiet streets in the subdivision. But it's got a lot of landscaping going on in the back. 50 by 100, and you basically got 4 bedrooms upstairs plus it looks like maybe 1 downstairs. That's a good price for this home, I think. I mean, they had it at $529,000 for a while. If you look at this one compared to the stuff like on Clover Park, like for $520,000, $530,000, it compares pretty well. So Dalgleish, $539,000. This home, I believe, is around 2,200 square feet, dark cabinet, stainless steel. It doesn't have a lot of zip to it in my eyes. I mean, there's a couple little things that they could have done. They could have hid that behind the stand. They could have taken some of the stuff out of the bedrooms and so on. So yeah, it seems, again, this is a tough price range too. The $5 to $550 range. We just had that one drop down to $519. Had an offer really quick. We reviewed it a couple days ago. Ramshaw to me looks pretty good. A little bit smaller than the previous one. It's 21 something square feet. Carrington model. It's only got 3 bedrooms upstairs, but some people sit there and say, okay, do I want 4 smaller rooms or 3 larger rooms? Personal preference. But you find with the double car garage detached, most people tend to like that 4th bedroom, especially just even as an office or something like that. So they've converted the living room to an office, and kind of neat that it's an office right beside a little bar with some wine glasses in it. So they don't really have a formal dining room per se. They've basically converted this to kind of a loungy area. There's your family room, and then your kitchen, which kind of looks over the family room, and then you've got your rooms upstairs, and that is a bidet, folks. I just wanted to point that out. And the big thing here is a pool. I mean, that is pretty awesome to see, especially in this price range. Hard to get stuff with pools under $550, and you're getting a pretty new home. You're getting something with a basement that's 75% completed. And the nice thing about that is you're really not paying the true value of what they spent in the basement typically. A basic model this size, I would say, would be hovering around the 5 plus the pool plus whatever's left in the finished basement. If you had to put $5,000 into it, you're still doing great at this price. So these guys have, I think, chosen a pretty fair range to put the house in. But you wonder, basement 75%, what made it not be 100? Is it something where they have to get out, job relocation? I don't know, but it is something to, it could be a sign of motivation. We've talked about that in past episodes. Nairn Circle 569. Not a lot of information here beyond the fact that it's less than 2,500 square feet. It's going to have to be pretty nice if they're going to get that price. Izard is 589. And so what you have here is a dining room and then family room, and that's probably the kitchen through the archway. Kind of a neat archway. Good looking cabinets here, big thick slab of granite, all good here. And you can see the bathrooms they've renovated, and you've got a good looking finished basement too, although there's a lot of kind of walls and openings and ductwork and everything, but it looks like good work here, and even a built-in fireplace on the wall. Bit of landscaping in the back. You know, there was a home on Bonin back here onto Green Space that sold for a lot less than this, and it's around the same size. So they're fighting a tough battle to try and get this price. It's nice, but I mean, it may be a little bit high. Cousins looks like an Albion Bay to me. $619 is the price. And it looks like it has a finished basement too. I don't know if there's any reference to the basement in the photos. A couple different types of hardwood in this home, and I find that takes away from the overall flow. And then what they've done is they've actually put 3,500 to 5,000, but that's not true because you're not counting finished basement area as true square footage. Total living space would be a more accurate description of that. It's 46 by about 88. Back onto green space is a good thing. What's that worth? 20, 30,000. So take that away. Is this home worth 590 with a finished basement, maybe about a 2,200 square foot home? Same comments as these are. Wettlaufer is 777, and we're talking about a 3,400 square foot home. And I think very well decorated inside, lots of upgrades, really one of my favorite models. I'll show you the floor plans because it's a bit of a shorter episode. I love this. So in the master, you've got this little turret right in the middle. It is awesome, awesome. This has got to be, the Wild Rose I like a lot. This has got to be one of my favorite floor plans that Mattamy put together. So I think that's the last one. So if I showed you the floor plan quickly, here it is. So Mattamy Red Cedar, you can Google it if you want. You come in the front door. I love how you can close off the living room, have it as a separate room. So they didn't combine these two rooms. You got a coffered ceiling in the dining room, give it a bit of a formal feel. The kitchen here, and then you got this great little turret breakfast area. Amazing stuff. And there's a covered veranda version where you can actually have a little veranda right here, and then above you've got a walkout off the master. You've got a loft area upstairs, plus you've got 4 bedrooms, and then you've got this neat little coffered effect here. You go into the master, you've got equal sized walk-in closets, this little sort of staging area, so it feels like this really sort of ritzy hotel to me, where you go one side over to the ensuite, one side to the master. And I even think about the separation with the ensuite. If you've got one spouse that's getting ready earlier than the other, that's a neat thing too. Not a big fan of the shower with the 2 sinks beside each other, but beyond there, I think this is an outstanding floor plan, and I love that master there. I love that little turret that they did. So this home gets definitely 2 thumbs up. So that's the list for today. If you have any questions, if you want to see anything in today's list or anything at all, we are here to show you those homes. And we're also going to run a pretty awesome buyer class, and you can sign up over there. So have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.